Welcome back to Beyond Eyes. My name is Ben Davis, and we have just solved the riddle of the seagulls. I discovered an umbrella, and now I must continue my search for Nani. The last chapter ended with an extremely tedious puzzle, and I still am not convinced that this is a bad game. Even though the game got pretty low scores, I think its Metacritic score stands at 50 something percent. Now, what am I scared of? Maybe that's not fear, maybe that's the chapter break, and it's saying, seriously, homegirl, go back to the beautiful world we're drawing for you. Yeah, so we got a 57 something percent score on Metacritic. That's the combination of user review and critic review. And I'm not 100% sold on that score. I feel as though the game does a lot of things really well, including playing with the idea of contextual hints through sound. On top of that, it also forces you to use very limited tools to find the solutions to your puzzles. Let's go discover the true identity of this kitty cat. Well, it looks like we're going to have to take the long way around to find a path over to that cat. And I'm sure you, like me, are probably assuming that this is not actually Nani, but this is probably someone else's cat. And the simple reason for that assumption is the fact that this cat did not come when it was called. There's one of those scary seagulls. But I ain't afraid of no ghost or bird. Ghost bird. Raindrops keep falling on my head, drops keep falling. That doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red. Okay, so those just fell over? Was it because it's windy? I mean, they didn't really display wind on the trees or on the umbrella or on her coat or dress. Or is there a critter around? Again, I'm using sound as my clue, not in terms of the environment and trying to find my sweet cat, but in terms of this is clearly how the developers wanted us to play the game, is through listening for birds or people or very specific sounds and telling us, go in that direction. Now it looks as though I've taken a rather I've walked in a big circle. I appear once again to be lost. And I appear once again to have found the correct way to go. So I want this to be clear, based on what we heard in Chapter 1, these Nani experiences are her imagination. Remember, one of the texts that we received said Ray imagined that Nani would have gone this way. She didn't know that Ray would go this way, or Nani would go this way. She wasn't 100% sure beyond the shadow of a doubt. She imagined it. This whole journey has been based on imagination. It's not a problem. You know, we've gone on video game journeys for far weaker reasons than imagination in the past. To me, it just seems like weak storytelling. Like, how on earth could she know that Nani has gone this way? She can't. She's basing her belief system 100% on her knowledge of the cat. And granted, when you have a pet, you kind of understand what it will and will not do. But everything else that we've experienced in the game, like her discovering sounds and their true meanings, or her smelling something and discovering its true identity, all of these are based on her senses. But with Nani, she is just going. She's just blindly pursuing this cat without fully knowing where it did or did not go. I don't know why I decided to stay on the dock. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Oh, I thought it was a swing. It's not a swing at all. It's a rusted old Ferris wheel. I really didn't want to be overly critical of this game. I don't think that this is a bad game. You know, I'm not playing this thinking, man, they did a really poor job. Instead, I'm playing it thinking, they didn't do everything that they could have. There could have been a little bit more polish. Found some more scary seagulls. And because there's a sound, that's the way I'm supposed to go. Unless, of course, I run into some barrels. I am going to say, so in the previous chapters, we noticed that everywhere we walked, we could remember what we had seen or where we had been, but clearly the rain is disruptive to her senses. The echolocation that she has relied on so far has been fully interrupted by the rain pattering on everything. So you can't see where I've gone before, everything kind of vanishes. And I think that's a really neat idea. I think that's a really great way of adding challenge to the game without changing the game's core systems. You know, one of the things you're always trying to do when designing a game is to keep things interesting. And what's more interesting than a game that tricks you, that makes you believe one thing and then quickly shows you that you may not know what that one thing is. On the other hand, I am 100% lost. Okay. Hey, it's regular Ben back again, and I may have found where I'm supposed to be going. Or I may have gone right back to where I was. But this seems new. I don't remember. Oh, and she's calling the cat. So, onward. Watch, I'm going to run into another dead end. I was talking to my wife about this game, because she was like, this kind of reminds me a little bit of Flower. I bet it's really pretty to play. And I do think it's very pretty. I think it is a very interesting and unique game. But as I'm playing it, I've also noticed that unlike Flower, they do a really good job of limiting your field of view. I mean, look at her feet. She is perceiving or assuming what's in front of her by really only one step at a time. When it was clearer, when there was no rain in the previous chapters, we could predict 2 to 3 steps at a time. And I feel like that's a really interesting way to express this idea of blindness without it being trite. You know, it feels more like a challenge to the gameplay.
Nani.
So watch as the footsteps start to expand as the rain kind of stops. There's 2 nannies. Did you go and have kittens? Ugh. Another freaking wall. And now that the rain has stopped, we're also seeing more of the environment. We are, able to remember things further off. And I think that's a very unique way of adding challenge.
Nani?
Those ones are not. Nani? Those are mean kitties. Making mean kitty noises. And with that, my friends, I think we're going to call it a night. Going to call it an episode. I keep saying night, even though these episodes go up during the day, so I'm sorry for doing that. You can kind of get a glance behind the curtain and get a clear view of when I actually record. So I want to make one thing clear. while I've sounded negative about this game, I don't think it's a bad game. And I think that there's something here, and I'm excited to see where the story goes. That's why I'm still playing. I want to know what is the fate of Nani, and I want to know how does Rei grow as a person. She's only been blind for about a year, and she's gone on this incredible journey. So I hope that you join me next time to find out more about Rei and Nani Beyond Eyes. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you enjoyed it, share it with your friends. My name is Ben Davis. Thanks for watching.